Okay, good morning, everybody. This is Joe, and I apologize. I forgot to unmute myself. I think it's very important that and wonderful to be able to have this opportunity to be connected to everyone through this platform. That we are able to listen to sharings of each other, and then we can cultivate together and grow on this path. I can hear the stories that you have journeyed on in the past week or in the past, and you can also listen to our sharings here about what Master has said recently. So this is something that we cherish very much and something that we should continue. And I treasure this opportunity very much, and I hope that you also have the same feelings too. So today we're going to, before we begin, once again, we always go into call to action. And I just wanted all of you to know that this effort does not stop. This is not something where we just said that we've done it. You know, I've become a member, I've subscribed to the YouTube channel, and therefore that's it. No, instead of doing that, I think it's something that we should always be thinking about. Is to see how every day there might be new videos, and how every day we have to stay step in step. We have to stay in time with the footsteps of Master. Okay, so this is where all the videos and all the stories are with English subtitle. So please, there's no excuse, but it's something that if we want to stay close to what Master is concerned about, if we want to stay close to what Master is thinking, this is one way. This is a very important way. So please, and I show you on page 3, it's the QR code to get into the YouTube channel. And that's where, if you want to, this is the QR code. If you scan it, it's gonna take you directly to the link below, and you will get into our channel, the Tzu Chi Humanistic Culture channel, where it posted all the videos, all the news from all the 3 countries, the 3 African countries where they were ravaged by the storm. Okay, the cyclone. Okay, and on page 4, we're looking at this, and this is also, we need everybody's help. And so if you scan this, you'll also be able to get into the donation page. And this is not, it's, once again, if I ask you, have you eaten your lunch yet, right? You're not gonna say, well, I ate lunch last week. You're not gonna say, I ate lunch yesterday, and therefore I don't need to eat them today. So the same is true for if we want to say, have you helped Africa? And you might respond, oh, I already donated last week. Yes, you donated last week. But the point is not if you donated last week. The point is, have you keep yourself up to date with what's going on there? Have you kept Africa close to your heart like Master has? And so that their suffering is your suffering. No, we're not there yet. We're not thinking like them or as them yet, but at least can we make the effort of thinking about them and making an action. And you can always start with a very simple gesture of thinking about them and putting a little bit of coins aside to help them. And that's what Master is asking us to do. Always thinking, just like food that we eat for 3 meals a day, always think about them as if they are part of us, and so they are part of our everyday meal. That's the way to think about how to incorporate them into our lives, okay? So these are the things that I'm always gonna be talking about as a way of reminding everybody that they are part of us in the same world. They're not so far from us. We're part of them as well. So today, we're gonna first start with last week's review. So last week we talked about don't stop the love. And this is always what Master has been talking about in this past few weeks. She had the surgery on the eyes, and things are, she's recovering, but she didn't stop this message to all of us that we should not stop this love that's going to Africa. Don't stop just because we now know that our volunteers are on the ground. Don't stop because we have already finished distribution to nearly 20,000 households and 20,000 in Mozambique. Don't stop just because we've made some achievements, but rather there's so much more that we need to do. and we need to continue. So on page 7, every event is an opportunity, but have we seized them all? Every event, every time somebody gather, every time that we are gathered online is an opportunity for us to inspire our compassion. Have we seized all these opportunities? Have we just resort to sharings only? Or have we actually combine the opportunity together as well as a way and chance to share Dharma, as well as a way to share our collective effort? These are the things that we all need to focus on. And that's what Master talked to us, told us and reminded us. So on the 16th, was from last week, Master was telling everybody, I've been telling everyone recently and everyone hears it, but are you really in touch with it? No. If you're not in touch, then you will not feel. Therefore, we must stay in touch to truly feel. And this is what Master shared with us when we were asking about what we're going to do tomorrow on the 28th. Okay, so we had a plan and we had a schedule for what's going to happen tomorrow. And from the look of it, Master thinks of us as treating yet tomorrow as an event, as an activity, that we are just planning it like an activity. But rather than doing that, Master told us that, do we really feel it? So she said, I've been telling everyone recently that everyone hears it. So we all hear what Master is telling us, but are we really in touch with what she's saying? And what is the thing that we are in touch with? What are we supposed to be feeling with? So on page 10, I really think that Master is talking about, are we in touch? When we hear the stories of Africa, are we in touch? Is that story in touch with us? Is that story in touch with our heart and our mind? Is that story in touch with what we learn from Dharma lineage? That's the key. It's not so much that are we in touch with the people of Africa. Yes, we need to be in touch with them. But hey, I'm not there. I'm not in Africa. So does that mean that all that I do is okay? But rather, is the event happening in Africa in touch with our Buddha nature inside? That's the key. So that's what we really need to be in touch with. This is an event. This is an opportunity for us to be in touch. So this week that's what we talked about last week. So this week we're gonna continue the same train of thought, because that's what Master has been talking about every time. So on page 12, we're gonna look at what Master spoke of on the 23rd. Now this was after a long time where Master has been sort of self-confined into her studies and also into the small meeting room because of the surgery, because of the recovery. And this is what Master shared with us. So she said, I've been feeling ashamed of myself because I have not been diligent. I expect myself to seize every day, and as long as I'm breathing, as long as I can still do something, I should diligently do it. So this is the one part of the two parts where Master shared that she felt ashamed of herself. And every time she spoke of this, you could hear her voice quiver. You could hear her voice shiver because she felt strongly about this. The first thing she said was that she felt that she was not being quote unquote useful. She was not being useful because she was confined. She felt that she needed to let the message out and let everybody know about what's happening in Africa and call on to everybody to action, to let everybody know that they have to do something, that we all have to do something, that we all have to commit to this. So she felt that it was her responsibility to do so, yet she couldn't. And that is why she felt that she has not been diligent to do this. So she expects that every day, as long as Master is still breathing, as long as there's energy in her that she can still do something, talk about it, and use her arms and use her body to do something, she should do that. And that's what she told us that day. So the next page. So she said, Master said, I had to commit to this myself, not letting any second or minute slip by. Even if the doctors want me to shut my eyes to heal, I must keep my eyes open to stay focused on our efforts in Africa. So this was her reply or response to the doctors when all they wanted for her was to, you know, shut the eyes to heal, because the operation, the surgery is on the eyes, and if you keep on opening them, the wounds there and you know, the aftermath of the surgery, it's not going to heal as easily. And therefore, it's something that that master really, you know, and I think she abide by it, you know, maybe in the first 2 days, or maybe the first day, or maybe the first hour. I don't know. I'm sure there was a time that she said, okay, I'll listen to the doctor for the benefit of the doubt. And then she realized, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to keep my eyes shut. Are you kidding me? You know, she needs to look. And so I remember there were stories where whether it's our master or it's our the staff that goes into the meeting room, in a very, you know, small meeting room, and they would all want, you know, master to keep the eyes closed, and we would just speak and talk to her. And she would, and then she would always open the eyes because she wanted to see more. And because she must remain focused on the efforts in Africa. And that is something that that was her insistence, because that was the very important effort in Africa right now and needed her guidance. So on the next page, Master continued to say, Cyclone Idai devastated 3 nations, but in reality, they really have nothing left to be devastated. We must seize this opportunity, use this as a pivot, take this affinity, pave the path into Africa. So this was in response to seeing that, you know, what's there left to be devastated? You know, if you have nothing, then how can you be devastated, right? So Master was talking about people say that they were devastated, but in reality, they have nothing. You know, how can their but they're still really affected, right? Their life is still affected, but they have no possession left to be devastated, to be damaged, to be ravaged. So Master was saying that we must take this opportunity. Just like she mentioned before, that every event is an opportunity to inspire. This is an opportunity for us to walk on this Bodhisattva path, to walk on this path and enter into Africa, pave the path into Africa. You know, as much as we hear a lot of the touching stories in Africa, you know, if you truly see this, in the southern part of Africa, we have done so much, but in reality, even if we have done so much, not enough people know about this. And that is why at the beginning of this session, I always share with you the videos, the link to the videos, so that you and all of us can share this with more people. It's not for publicity. We didn't do this for publicity, but we really need more people to know what's going on. You know, if you think about this, no news channel will remain tuned and remain focused on Africa. You know, they'll talk about Cyclone Idai maybe for the first 2 days, and that was it. But we stay there because because the news coming out from there really needed to be known by people. So now you know. Now that you know, you need to let others know. So we must seize this opportunity to use this as a pivot, to take this opportunity and pave the path into Africa. It's not just for us, but it's for everyone to pave the path, to know their lives, to know them intimately about what they do and about what they need, okay? So, and the next page, as Bodhisattvas walk onto this impoverished land, I think to myself, every footstep, every footprint by the Bodhisattvas, there will be lotus flower. Wherever our Tzu Chi volunteers go, there will be lotus flower. So this is something that Master is making the vow. She's making the vow and making the call to action. You know, wherever we go, wherever we enter, as long as we enter, the path is now being paved. If we do, and we are, then every footstep will be a lotus flower. So if there are more people, if there are more footsteps, if there are more footprints by the Bodhisattvas, then there will be full of lotus flowers. And this is something that we all should believe. We should all believe, and it's reality. And this is something that I think we must all believe, that now we're opening the door. Now we're paving the path. Everyone must come in now, and this is the opportunity. So truth and behold, on the next page, you see the picture. And this is the picture where you can see the pond, you can see the swamp, and you can see the houses, whether it's made by brick or cement or just some kind of, straw and hay that were built into a hut. And then you can see that in the pond, there are these wonderful lotus flowers. And these are, no one really tend to it, right? It's not owned by anyone. It was just something out of nature. But who grew these, who tended these, or who even spread the seeds there? This was in Mozambique. Who did this? No one knew. It was just out there in nature. So Master really believes that, this is the place. Now the door is open. Now the path has been paved. It's time for everyone to know more about Africa. Are we seizing this opportunity? Or are we just looking at this as another news of another day? So every day we must take a moment to look at the new news, the news coming from Africa, the things that we've done in Africa, to know our footprints, to know the lotus flowers have already been spread there. We must be part of this as well. So Master continued to say, I used to reference Africa as proof of the karmic cycle and the 6 realms. There is the hungry ghost realm, and there's the hell realm, etc. And there is always a possibility that we could reborn in Africa. As soon as, the eyes close, Master always said that the moment you open your eyes, a new life is reborn. Maybe you look at all of it, you look at your arms and you look at your skin color and you go like, oh my goodness, now I'm in Africa. So there's always a distinctive possibility that we could reborn in Africa. So now Master said, I'm going to turn this around. How is it going to be turned this around? What's Master going to do to turn this around? Master says, now it's time to open the door to the Bodhisattvas. Before we only talk about it, before we only talk about the karmic cycle, we only talk about Africa as part of the karmic cycle. Now we're truly going to open the door. Open the door and see the suffering sentient beings waiting for us at the end of the path, at the end of the Bodhisattva path. And so this is what Master is calling us to do now. Before we think of Africa as part of the karmic cycle, this is where the suffering is. Now we're really going to go there and do it now. Before we're only going to talk about suffering, now we are going to truly walk on there and see the helping them, and also see that we're not just helping them, but we're using this to pave the path of the Bodhisattva. And not only that, but we're going to, for every step that we take, it's going to be a lotus flower. So more than just helping them, but seeing that the importance of sowing the seeds of blessing. 2 weeks ago, I shared with everybody the importance of blessing. And this is the same idea. So this is the action, the time to act is now. And it's not just to act, but it's to truly understand what Master wants us to do, is to spread this idea. You need to know first before you can spread. So if you do not know, how would you be able to spread this idea? How would you be able to walk the path yourself? And the path isn't for yourself to walk on. To walk on the path, you need to let more people know about what's going on. So if you don't know what's going on, how would you let others know what is going on? So first thing first, always know. Follow the steps closely. Then you would be able to see the lotus flowers. And when you see the lotus flowers, you will be able to point to others that this is the flowers that we get. So that's the sharing for today. It's a very quick one for about 10, 15 minutes. I would like to get into the questions because there are some questions that were out there for a while and I want to get into them. So on page 21, we see this question because Master talked about the gates to hell. And that was the day when Master talked about that we really need to we really need to open the door, the gateways to hell, open it so that all these suffering sentient beings, can escape, can run out. And so thanks to whoever that was asked this question in a very imaginative way, who is guarding hell? Is it earthly, store, Bodhisattva, or any other being? And for me, my answer, is this, so is it 地藏菩萨? Okay, who is guarding hell? And I really don't think, this is just my opinion. that hell is not a place where, I mean, I understand that there's a lot of drawing, a lot of conceptual drawing about what hell looks like. And there's a gateway perhaps, and there are guards, there are these, very mean guards. They're usually red, and they usually have fangs, okay? Usually that's what is drawn. But I really don't think that there is anyone guarding the door. I don't think there's anyone that says, no, you cannot leave, or no, you cannot enter. Because I think anyone that's in hell, I think the road leading out of hell has always been there. But for all those sentient beings suffering in hell, they don't know that there is a way out. It's not that they are being kept inside like a prison. It's more like they don't even know that there's a path out, that they don't even know that there is a door there that they can go out. They don't know that there is a road over there that's their answer. It's almost like if you feel trapped, it's not that there is no door. It's not that there is no way out. It's that you don't see the door and you don't see the path. So it's just like, remember, in Lotus Sutra, there is a analogy of a burning house, right? So the children in the burning house don't realize that they need to run out. So it's the same as the sentient beings in hell. They are suffering. They want to get out, but they don't know how. And that is where we come in. We see from the outside, or maybe we're inside too. I don't know. It depends on how you feel. But whether we're inside or whether we're outside, now Master is telling us the way out. No one is blocking us. No one is saying that, no, you cannot go out. But we ourselves need to make the stride, walk the path, and enter the path and say, now I want to go out, and I'm going to take these people with me. That's what is essentially. No one is guarding the door and say, no, you must not enter, and no, you must not exit. No, it's up to us. Can we do this? And if we can, then we will be able to come out. Very simply, just like the burning house. It's up to us. And therefore, there's always these provincial wisdom to attract us. Hey, come out. There are these carts full of toys that you liked so much. And then we would exit without knowing that we already exited this place. Okay, so I don't really think there's anyone guarding, but I think that we as one's inside, or we as one on the outside, know that sentient beings are trapped in there. So it is up to us to let them know how to exit, how to walk the door that's already there. No one is blocking. It's up to us to walk. So that's why 开示悟入, it's Master showing us the door. But to really enter it and walk it, it depends on it's up to us. Okay, so this is the question that I want to get to. And page 22. So this is what that was asked, and someone probably was watching the Wisdom at Dawn reruns, and they saw this. So the earlier chapter of Lotus Sutra mentioned that Bodhisattva goes through the causal practices before attaining Buddhahood. What does causal practices refer to? So in Chinese, it's called 菩萨因行. Okay, it's called 菩萨因行. And and I wanted to just make sure that everybody knows this particular term, causal practices. In reality, what does it mean is that Master explained this as the Bodhisattva path is the cause for attaining Buddhahood. So if you have gone through the completion of these causal practices, if you put in enough cause, if you put in enough root or seeds, then you will be able to obtain the roots of Buddhahood. And so that's what this causal practices is. So it's not exactly a particular term. Rather, it's talking about the practices where we pave the way. We sow the seeds and we pave the way to reach Buddhahood. Okay, so this is what causal practices mean. So I apologize for delaying this question for so long, because I really don't know the English term either. I have to go back to the actual English reference of the Chinese, and then I go back to what Master was talking about to find the answer. So thank you for, and this is the good practice, is that if you see something in English that you're not certain of, it's always very important to bring it up so that we could dig deeper to try to find the answer so that it's clear to everyone, okay? So I'll be honest with you, I read this. If it's in Chinese, I'll just read through it and I won't even realize that maybe there's something that I didn't understand. So thank you for bringing this up, and I think it's something that we need very much. So I'm page 23, and this is something that I want to get into also. And this will be the last question that we get to for today. I know that there's one more question, but I'm going to see if we have time today, but I just got 3 minutes left. So there are all these realms, okay? All these realms, right? There is 3 realms, which is the 欲界, 色界, 无色界, the form realms, desire realms. So the order is this: the desire realms, or the realms of desire, the realm of form, and the realm of formless, okay? And so that's the 欲界, 色界, 无色界, the 3 realms where it's Buddha uses the burning house, okay, the burning house to represent the 3 realms that we need to get out of, okay? That's the 3 realms: 欲界, 色界, 无色界. And then there are the 6 realms, or the 6 paths, okay, 六道, okay? Also, it's called the 六道. And the 6 realms, unfortunately, in English, they all use the word realm. Okay, so it's the human realm, the heaven realm, and the hell, animal, ghost, asura. Okay, so these are the 6. And of course, out of the 6, there are the 4 noble. There are the others. Okay, the 4 noble realms, which combine into the 10 realms. Okay, so there's a lot of word called realms. Okay, so there's the hearer, solitary realizer, bodhisattva, and Buddha. So there's the 声闻缘觉菩萨佛. Okay, so together it's 10. And then there are the 3. And then there are the 6. And then there are the 4. What are we talking about? Okay, so let me first focus on the 3 and the 6. Okay, and then or the 3 and the 6, and then you understand for the 4 and the 10. Okay, so the 3 realms that we hear, 欲界, 色界, 无色界, talks about the obstacles, talks about the challenges that are on the outside. Okay, once again, we're talking about the cause and the effect. The 3 realms are the cause. These are the desires that trap us. These are the forms that we attach to and we are trapped. These are the formless, the ideas, the principles that we are trapped and attached to that cause us to have affliction. So the 3 realms that we're talking about are the obstacles, are the problems, the causes to the problems that we are attached to. And guess what? Once we're attached to them, the results are the 6 realms. If you're attached to a particular desire, if you eat too much, if you do bad activities, if you do bad things, then you're born into the results, which are the hell realms, the animal realms, and the ghost realms. Okay. If you loosen up your attachment, if you do something good, but you're still attached to the nice feelings, if you're attached to something, but you just do good deeds, then you're born into the heaven realm, the asura realm, or the human realms. So the 3 realms that we're talking about, the desire, form, and the formless, they are the cause. These are talking about the causes to our problems. The 6 realms are talking about the effects. Because we're attached to the causes, we have the effects that's called the 6 realms. Now, if we are escaping from the 3 realms, then we go into the 4 noble realms. Okay, so once again, 6 plus 4, that's 10. All of these are the results. If you're in the 3, then you're in the 6. If you're out of the 3, then you slowly go into the 4. So that's what they mean. Okay, so I hope people can now be more clear about what they are. And trust me, this is my explanations are as down to earth as possible, because if you want to explain even deeper, like, oh, there are all these levels, there are 52 levels to obtain Buddhahood, I'm not going to be able to get into all of them. And I'm not going to be able to get into all the very specifics of the three realms, you know, like even in the desire realms, there are the heaven, you know, and there are so many different heavens. And then in the form realms, there are these, you know, heaven beings, and the formless, there's like, you know, fei xiang, fei fei xiang, all these things that even in Chinese, I would not be able to explain what in the world they're talking about. So I'm just in a very simple terms to share with you what they are. But in reality, in desire realms, they're all already 6 realms inside. So isn't that very confusing? So let's not think that. Let's just think about the 3 realms, talk about the causes to our attachment. The 6 and the 4 talks about the results of the attachment. So if you are attached, you're born in the 6. If you are slowly detached, then you are going to the cultivators. So before we go, and there's, you know, I'm already 1 minute over, I'm gonna get into the last question. So I'll finally be done with all these questions. So this question, it says on page 24, I understand that there are deities exist around us to protect us. Well, there are all these things exist around us. I cannot see, I cannot hear, but I believe that they exist. I don't know if they're here to protect us, but they're here, okay? So who are they? I don't know, because I cannot see them. I cannot ask them, who are they? Who are you? I don't know who you are. I cannot see them. So unless they show themselves in my dream, or somehow I cannot see them and I cannot feel them, but I believe they exist. Are they formless? Well, it depends on how you explain or define what formless mean. Can you see them? I cannot see them. And does that mean formless? Perhaps. So which realms does deity originate? So this is the question that I'm gonna get to. So we spoke about all these realms, right? In reality, all these realms, they all have their deities. So even in the desire realms, there are heavenly beings that are more powerful than the others. Just like human beings, we are more capable than the animal realms. Just like in the same desire realm, there will be human and there will be, you know, heaven, and there are different levels of heaven. Just like we in the human realm are more capable than the animal realms. Just like the heavenly beings realm are more capable than the human realms. Just like within the human realms, there are more others that are more capable than other human beings. So there are always these, you know, levels, because we are cultivated in the different levels. So that's why, you know, imagine we compared to the animals, you know, for example, our pets, you know, we feed them every day. It's as if to them, we are their deity. We are in control of what they do. We are in control of their life and their destiny. You know, we say, I'm gonna cut your, you know, I'm gonna cut your, you know, nails today. I'm gonna wash you today. We control them, you know. So to them, we are the ones around them to protect them, okay? But they don't know us. They don't understand us, okay? So on the other hand, I'm sure there are other deities or other beings around us. Are they protecting us, or are they watching us? Perhaps, you know. And which realm do they originate? They exist in all these 3 realms, okay? So I really don't know enough about them, but I think it's important to know that there are other beings. Just because we don't see them doesn't mean they don't exist. And because they exist, we just had to understand that we had to focus on the things at hand, which is, you know, before we begin, always a call to action. This is the path that we are walking on. Whether there are things that we can or cannot see around us, this is something that we need to focus on. It's Cyclone Idai. Always remember, always stay in touch. Keep Africa in your heart, and you would keep Master in your heart. Okay, so that's my sharing for today. I'm so glad I finished all the questions. 5 minutes over. Thank you so much, and we're gonna open this up to everybody, to the sharing from, I think, Singapore and to Singapore, I think. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. That's my sharing for today.
I'm Susan, Ling Suyun from Singapore, addressing, and good morning to everybody here. This morning I'm going to share. We have this large scale of distribution in Sri Lanka, which was carried out in March 15 to 17. It's a 3 days event, and thank you for very much for being able to join and participate in this event. Particularly, I have to thank Master to set this path for us, and to see and really view the hardship of the people there, and there to contribute our love and compassion there. Thanks to Sister Lisa and Lian for getting me there. Actually, I have very high work schedule and I wasn't able to make it. But Sister Lisa says that would you like to join us to Sri Lanka? And I say, I told my boss yesterday, and he says, sorry, we have very tight schedule, and you're not supposed to take leave. But again, the next day I received this text message, and I'm so keen to go, So I told bosses, I'll get everything done before I leave on the 14th evening, and I make sure everything is in place, and I'll be able to make it. And my boss think for a while, and at the end of the day, he said, okay, you can take your leave. I'm happy to be there, So we arrived in Sri Lanka in the wee hour of on the 15th morning, and the journey all the way to Hambantota is about like 4.5 hours, and it's a very long night till morning, and it's real tedious. But again, we are happy to be there. And our Taiwan team made us up at around in the morning. So we are all ready. Having very little sleep, it doesn't matter us, but we are all ready to work out for the distribution. So, actually, there are so-called, we have a lot of meetings, and we're working out on how to deploy our very limited resources. We have very little human resources. Our Hong Kong team, our Taiwan team is about 10+ person, 16 person, and Singapore team, how many? 21, and we all depends a lot. Depends a lot on the local volunteers. So working out, distributing that last year is about like 4,000 over to the recipients, and it is not an easy task. Honestly, it's not an easy task, but with the wisdom of every volunteers, we are able to make it. So 15 is the day we start planning, deploying, how can we work out. And on the very day, I was allocated to do some home visit, to visit the mud flood homes of one of our recipients, and also two homes in our Ta Ai Chun, a Great Love Village, correct. Seeing the mud flood home is really heart-wrenching, and it's very sad because of this. In Sri Lanka, there's a lot of poor people there, and then they are deprived of a lot of opportunity because there's not a lot of work opportunity, and their living standard is really very, very, very low. Thanks, Master, for this kind and great compassion to see to the needy at the moment of all these peoples. So we have these 3 home visits, and it really I feel a lot for them because it's not easy for all the people there. And for myself, I say it's a blessing. I'm born in Singapore, and I'm a Singaporean. We just need to work hard, and then our life is so good in Singapore. But over there, this is not always the cases. So they come on the 16th. Okay, before we start the distribution, we work out and we plan. We deploy into three groups. So each group we have less than 10 person. So how it's going to work? I was assigned at the assembly hall, and then we start to draw lines on the floor, thinking that we can get all these recipients to sit down on the hall, and then we have this Sangha master and the official there presiding over the distribution, and everything will be in perfect manners, and we think everything will go well. Thing doesn't work out always like what you think and what you plan, because a lot of things will happen, and it's because in Sri Lanka it's a very unique country. It's a very different culture. The people there, they don't speak English, and for the locals they speak Lanka, and for us it's a great language barrier. So we have to tackle all this barrier, and then getting there in place. before the starting of the distribution. So, well, when things roll up, you know, we think everything can run smoothly, but not exactly, because after even before the second line can be formed, there is a little commotion, and then one of our brothers ran in and says, we have to stop all distribution and then get rework out again on how to get things in place. So what is this all about? We are all worried. I told one of the local volunteers, I said, you can speak Lankas if you quickly go and take a look and see what can be amended and maybe what is happening outside. So my sister said, no, we stay put. We let the Taiwan team, they can settle. Definitely they can settle. So we just stay put where we are. So after 10 minutes, and then they come back, say, no sweat, don't worry about it, because everything is put in place now, because it's actually, it's just because the people they are very simple people. Once the door is open, you want to get 10 or 20 person to come in, there's all this pushing, and then, you know, a little bit of commotion and uneasiness. So we are very worried. So, so we have to stop it. Then later, we assure them that you don't have to worry. There's supposed to be no pushing, and then things can get done easily and very swiftly. And we promise you that everybody here will have your vouchers distributed to you. Even you are the first in the row or you're the last in the row, you will get it. And so not to worry about it. So later we deploy again, and then we work out a new method. Instead of our current 24 rows, we change our strategies, we change our plans, and then we put it into one row. We have to do that because it's very difficult for them. You know, all these people there, you get them to sit in the row is so difficult. They say they have backache, they have leg pains, and then they will take up two rows, two spacing, and then I cannot remember who is the one sitting in the second row or third row. So it's so difficult because with our limited human resource, we have not enough hands to control them. And then eventually we have to change strategy, and then one row is good to control. Now it's so much and so well planned. And then you know, at one time, I have to take my hat off to and have said thanks to our brother and all the volunteers that we really work very cohesiveness. We work in cohesion, that we work really hand in hand and complementing each other in terms of needs. No, you know, this media team, our brothers, he saw that we are really underhands and we need people. So he just stopped his role as a cameraman. He chipped in to control the crowd. And then I said, brother, thank you so much, because I have to leave my job and then I have to stand in front, and then there's nobody controlling. So he has to chip in, and then he start counting numbers. Okay, if in fact we have 10 in the row, so you put 10 of the recipients over. So it's so much of like collaborating each other, complementing each other in getting the job done. Thanks, thanks for all the help, and the Taiwan team, the Singapore team, and the locals. We really work very hard in this event, and they gather from. Okay, thanks so much. I would like Sister Chwee to okay, come, Sister. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I'm Lian from Singapore. Me and Lisa, we are, how to say, taking care of Sri Lanka for the past 5 years. And this time, you know, this is the first charity grocery voucher distribution in Sri Lanka. And you can see that we are doing it in 2 places. One is in Hambantota, where, you know, our affinity started there since 2004 tsunami. Another, from Colombo to Hambantota, Colombo is the capital. From Colombo to Hambantota, it's about 250 km. Then it takes about 4.5 to 5 hours. and the affinity is in 2004, the tsunami. And that, during that time, we have emergency relief, medical team, and built the tents. And long term, we built Hambantota. We have 649 house. We built 649 houses, one school, one vocational training school, and also the Tzu Chi building. And after 15 years, we are still there. And this time is the first time we did the first time grocery gift voucher. In the past, we usually give rice, all those materials. But this time, Master said, because of Tzu Chi, relief has changed over the years, like from cash card, debit card to gift voucher. But we thought of giving the using the cash card. But in Sri Lanka, they don't have this one cash card system. And moreover, because these people that we are helping are those low-income families. Okay, so our objective of this is to give one-time grocery voucher distribution to financially difficulties families, and then also to show Tzu Chi great love. So the low-income family, you can see how low is that. It's less than 3,000 rupees, which is about $23. And these people actually are, we got the name list from the social department. And these people, the social department give them helps actually from 250 rupees to about 1,009 rupees, which is about from $2 to about $19. So you can imagine this is a very low, the sum is very low. Just imagine one coconut. A coconut is very important to them. One coconut costs about 70 to 100 rupees. So actually this 1,009 rupees cannot last for too long. So after many exploration, so we in the end we get into this. We give them. We decided with permission from Master, with blessing from Master, we're giving this gift voucher. But because we are helping total families of in Hambantota, we have two places: one Hambantota, Amblantota, and Colombo. Total is 4,000, almost 5,000 families. And then we also, depending on the number of families in a number of person in a family, we give about 15,000 to 20,000 voucher. So one voucher is 1,000. So it's about it's about more altogether. It's about 70 over 1,000. No, nobody believes that anybody would do such a thing. So we go and talk to so many. We want to see those supermarket, but they don't want to see us. They say, oh, you have to have appointment, whatever. So, but thankful to our local volunteer, they really work so hard. Ask around, and then to friends and friends and friends. In the end, we get to these kills. And kills is in Colombo, but in Hambantota is a more remote area where kills don't have kills. So we have to talk to these Cargills. These Cargill actually, they have about, they started in 1840. It's a very, very old, how to say, it's long history supermarket. They also do not believe, but in the end, we convince them and we promise them that this is actually we wanted to do. Just how I was saying that this is we do two in one in Hambantota, one in Colombo, and this is our Tzu Chi village. There's the entrance, and then the 649 houses we built for the disaster victim. And you can see it's just like our bungalow house. It's so comfortable. It's so nice. So after we have a blessing from Master, we have to start compilation of name list. So we have to talk to the social department, and they have to start registration. And then because like in Amblantota and Hambantota, there are so many remote areas. Like in Amblantota, it's a town, but these people, old people, they live about 20 to 30 kilos away from the main road. So our volunteer has to go in. The sufferer cannot come out. Then we are blessed people will go in. So they go to many places to do registration. And some of these places are actually, they don't have electricity, they don't have light. And even that you can see that they are doing it under the trees, under trees. But anyway, the mission accomplished well. We registered most 2,210 families in Hampanatota and Hambantota. And then after that, the voucher, because of the process, the money came quite late to Sri Lanka. And those people, those supermarket, they have to wait until the money that got to the bank, then they can issue the ticket. So when me and Lisa went there, we really every day rushing up and down to the supermarket to get the voucher. And then when we get into the voucher, you can see these are the voucher that, in the green one will be in Cargill, and then the other one is in, the green one is in Kales, and the other one is in Cargills. So 70,000 over voucher. We have some control mechanism that we have to count it. They want to give it to you, we have to count. And then after counting, then we can bring back to the office. But they don't, because of the amount, the volume is so big. Their machine also cannot do it. Then we have to count by hands. So you just so you just imagine. So besides that, because this is a supermarket voucher, so we come back, we have to have our Tzu Chi logo chop on it, and then another chop is no alcohol and cigarettes. So in fact, and then after that, you will have to count according to the families. 15 is like 1,000, 15,000 is 15 voucher, and then 20,000 is 20 20,000 is 20 voucher. So each voucher is from the supermarket to the, I think, recipient hands, beneficiary hands actually counted at least 10 times before they can receive it. Then we have to put them into envelopes. And because of different number of the families, we also use different color to differentiate them, like green, yellow, and pink, so that when we do distribution, it's easier. So me and Lisa, and with the Colombo team, we do it day and night. Within 3 days, we have to count so many voucher, and the Colombo distribution is on the 16th. Only the Cargill, the voucher, we only counted on the 16th early morning, the wee hour of the early morning. So our Arusha has to bring this voucher down to Hambantota, which is about 2,250 kilometers away, to be ready for the distribution in Hambantota. It is really time consuming and very challenging, but anyway, we accomplish it. And in Hambantota, we distribute in our Tzu Chi school. Yeah, this is our Tzu Chi school. Yeah, and then the people there, because they are old and they are poor. So they come. They're so worried that they don't get their voucher. So they actually come 4:30 in the morning already waiting there. So you can see that when I was the first one to go to the school on the 16th. So many was crowded there, and then everybody was so anxious. Wanted to rush in. Then I have to be there singing with them, make sure that they are happy. I say happy, happy. With my limited Sinhalese, I tell them, happy, happy, so I was there. Then I ask them, hey, show your voucher, so we get the local people to check, make sure that the voucher it is correct person. And this is me, happy, laughing, dancing with them, to make sure that they concentrate. And then a lot of people are old people, so from the route to the registration, actually there are about 20 steps. So our local volunteers are actually very helpful, that they help. And this is in Colombo. We are doing it in another school also. This is a primary school, and this is the tent that we built in the sport compound. And there are so many people. And in the school, they have to go through a small door before they go into the distribution area. These people, they are very anxious, but according to one of our volunteers observed, once they enter into the small door into the school, their face actually, they are relieved, because they know that once they enter the door, they are able to get the voucher. Of course, during the ISA, we explain to them how you can use a voucher, how long is the voucher can last, and we make sure that you keep your voucher properly, don't wash it away, and then there's no cash back. That means if you spend the voucher is 1,000, they spend 800, they have to put have to top up. Have to spend all, don't waste the money. And these people, because they are poor, they've never been to the actually they've never been to supermarket. You see, these people, they are very grateful. Those people, these people from Cargill, from Kales, they when we go there, we talk to them about Tzu Chi, ask them to come and help. So they also help. And then you can see that when we give them the voucher, they actually very grateful. They can use their forehead to touch your forehead. They show very good. Some even kneel down to touch the foot of the volunteer. Actually, all this, they are very grateful. And during the distribution, we also talk about the bamboo bank spirit. And these people, they are really poor, but they can dig into their wallet and to give whatever money that in the wallet for us. You see, this is Sister Lisa. It was using the bamboo bank while they are coming out of the school. You see, everybody is rushing to this. That's why we grab every opportunity for them to create blessing. Then after that, we also go to chaos to understand the situation. And then you can see that these people, some of them they never dared to go into a supermarket. They thought supermarket would be very expensive, that you have to buy whatever. So with this voucher, they can go in. You can see the picture on the right top. The security, this lady security, she say, on the day of distribution, a lot of people go there. And suddenly she said, I never seen such a day that, our supermarket got so many people. And then come in those people, they are so anxious and they never know, they don't know how to use the voucher. So she has to go and help them with all these things. But she says she's so happy, even though she was very busy, okay? And then she was so happy to help. She said never in her life can see these type of things. And also the supermarket, the staff also, he says that this is the first time in his 27 years in Kales. He said never in his lifetime they see such a moving moment. So actually we are very grateful to Master to allow us to do this, and thanks the Singapore and Taiwan team to help. Cảm ơn.
Thanks to Sister Susan and also Chwee Lian for the sharing in Sri Lanka. Yes, indeed, it takes a collective effort and also the effort of nonstop, and see that for the past decade, this is what we have done and cultivated there. And I would just like to also share that I'm sure all of us have known about the explosions in Sri Lanka. So while we are cultivating the seeds of love and compassion, we should also be extremely careful about the instability there. So that just goes to show you how blessed we are, that we are able to spread and learn in the times of stability, while the people there in Sri Lanka, even if they want to learn and even if they want to participate, they have to do so very carefully for the fear of the instability as well as the turmoil there. So our hearts goes out to more than 200 or 300 people that were killed, that lost their lives on Easter Sunday after the explosion. But I think that's what our job is to purify, and whether the hatred or retribution or whatever comes next, I think we must be very careful, and also we must be very clear of what our goals are. So thanks again to both sisters. You've done so much, and the most important thing is you stay connected to these people, whether during distribution or in times of their help. when they're most afraid and when they're most vulnerable, you are there to help them and be with them for the past decade. And I think that's very honorable and that's very admirable. So thank you for the sharing. And thank you for giving us this uplifting energy, because after all, we're going to face all these challenges every day. And it is up to these energies that will allow us to go higher and go overcome our own problems. So thank you, and look forward to the next time that we meet next week. And before then, tomorrow is our 53rd anniversary, and we will then begin the journey to the 54th year. And I wish everyone that looking back in the past 53 years of the achievements in Tzu Chi, we could also look forward and think about, well, what's going to be my new beginning for this year, going into the 54th anniversary. What am I going to do to overcome, to supersede what I'm already doing, and to become an improvement of my yesterday? So that's our goal and that's our objective. So thank you all. And once again, we're going to see each other next week. Looking forward to that time. Until then, take care and have a wonderful